Hi, I'm Tom. This is Lucy, and this is Kitty Help Desk. So I was recently working with a client and was suggesting some musical enrichment for her cat, and she mentioned a particular device that her veterinarian had introduced her to, and it's this device right here. It's from a company called Pet Acoustics. It's their Pet Tunes Feline, and it's advertised as music for behavioral balance. And down here at the bottom, they list, problems it can help with: environmental stress, noise phobias, nocturnal activity, travel anxiety. It claims it's clinically proven to calm cats. Now, I haven't seen or been able to find any of the clinical tests used to back up that claim, but I do feel very strongly that music can be very helpful in reducing stress for cats, and that can be helpful in many ways. Just getting a cat's stress down can really help with lots of behavioral issues. I have a video about over-grooming, and one of the things I mentioned in that was that music can be very helpful with a cat who is an indoor-only cat who is over-grooming out of boredom. Because it sort of just fills in the space for them. It's like, the wind in the trees or some other background sound. I'm sure you could play, sort of nature sounds and things like that would be helpful, as long as you could find something that wasn't triggering. And in some cases, cats can sort of get triggered by bird sounds and things like that. So you want to be careful. But my go-to has always been soft harp music. That's not my favorite kind of music, but I find it highly effective because it's just this sort of background, the sound is just changing all the time. And in the case of my own cat, Mina, using harp music on a loop all day long when I'm away from home keeps her from, indulging in over-grooming. And so it's been highly effective in that regard for me personally. And for many of my clients, I recommend this, and they do it, and it's helpful. And this device, I do think, could be helpful for certain people. I am not contesting the idea behind this device in any way. I think it's a good idea, and I think having a small device that is portable and has a rechargeable battery and a removable SD card and okay sound for something this size, I think these are all positive things. It also, you just turn it on and it's in a loop automatically, and that's really all you have to do is press play and walk away. I'm not going to play music from this today because I don't want to get a copyright strike from YouTube. But, the music that's on this is, sort of 80s new age kind of tracks. There's nothing wrong with the music. I think it's just fine. It's not the kind of music I would choose to listen to in my spare time, but it's kind of old yoga studio kind of music, that kind of thing. And I think it's just fine for cats. I think that this could be a helpful device. My problem with it, and I do have some problems with it, is that number one, it is highly overpriced. This device is currently selling for $69.99 on Amazon, and that to me is about $40 or $50 too much. It's just kind of outrageous, But I can see there are people for whom the convenience is worth more than money to them. And so just the convenience of having this set up, because getting tracks and putting them on a card and getting the device and maybe syncing your phone and all that sort of thing can be very difficult for some people. And so the ease of use of this is a plus. But let me just tell you what you get for your $69.99. First of all, you get this little device, which works quite well. I have no qualms with that. But I did a little searching, and I found this device online on a site called everythingpromo.com. And on that site, they are marketing these devices as sort of swag that you can put your own logo on, and the Pet Acoustics people put their little logo on the side of it. I could market this. I could put my own music on this and put a Kitty Help Desk logo on the side of it. Which, might not be such a bad idea. And they're selling these in bulk. And the bulk price for these is $3.41. Now, even if you don't buy a lot of them at one time, you can get them for $5.43 a piece. And this is selling for $69.99. Now, there are some add-ons that don't just come when you buy the Everything Promo version of this. You do get the SD card, which is probably, worth a few bucks. And you get 87 minutes and 26 seconds worth of music by Janet Marlowe. Now, Janet Marlowe is the person behind Pet Acoustics. She claims to be, quote, a sound behaviorist. This is a job title I have never heard of before. It doesn't mean it's not real, okay? And let me make that really clear. I'm not here to like squash anybody's dreams of what they want to do in the world. I do think that there is a good sort of market for music that is created for animals. In fact, I've used for years this music for cats by David Tay. I'm going to put links in the show notes below so you can find these things. And also some music by Diane Schneider called Harp of Hope. These are really good. And this music by Janet Marlowe, there's nothing wrong with it. So in terms of use and functionality, I give this an A+. In terms of cost, I give it an F. Because it just feels exorbitant. $70 for something that, let's say you bought a 10-track MP3. Maybe that's $10 worth. And maybe even if you bought these devices in a minimal quantity, maybe it's $5 or $6 for the device. That's still only $16. Even if you doubled that, $32 with the SD card and everything. $32 still seems like this should be at that price or lower, not double that price. Let me just go on and tell you a few things that you can use if you don't want to spend $70 on this device that can be very helpful for you. There are some really good YouTube streams that just play 6 hours or more of soft harp music. I'm going to link to one in the show notes below. You can certainly search for others, but even putting that on a television, you don't have to buy a specific device just for this. This device is useful because you could bring it on a car trip or something, as long as, it wasn't too long. I have not run this until the battery died, so I do not know exactly how long the little battery that's built into this will last. I do know that once that battery stops accepting a charge, that this device becomes basically a paperweight. But you can use a television or your phone as a sound device, and it gives you a much more predictable experience. You don't have to buy another device, You could take your phone and play this YouTube video that I'm going to link to below, or you could put it on your television in a YouTube app on a smart TV, and you could just run this for 6 hours at a time, and your cats are going to respond to that in the same way or even maybe better than this, because it's probably, your television speakers may have better sound, it may be a little louder than this. This is really, it's pretty loud for the size of it, but it's mostly mid-range. There is some bottom end, a very little bit. It's sort of like, it's psychologically sort of fooling you into thinking there's more frequency response to this than there actually is. But it's, for the size of this little tiny thing, it's really not bad. But, if you already have something, why spend $70? The end result is really the same every time. It's sort of a distraction. It's a filler sound for the background. It's not important that it be particularly great music. I mean, you might want something that sounds pretty good if you're going to listen to it, but if you're going to leave it on while you leave the house, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's more important that it fills in that void for your cat and gives them the feeling that things are happening around them that, it keeps them just from feeling like they're in this silent void. Or some cats can become hypersensitive to sounds because it's so quiet that they start really listening to every tiny little thing. And this is just the sort of thing, playing a music bed in the background can be very helpful. The reason why harp music is particularly useful is because it's not strident. Or in most cases it's not. If you play soft harp music, okay, music where they're not attacking the harp, and I've heard some harp players that do make music like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about soft, melodic, sort of lullaby style harp music is really helpful because it doesn't make percussive sounds. It doesn't make sudden volume changes. It doesn't include like anything that's going to surprise or shock the cat. Instead, it's just going to soothe them in a way that will help them to feel better about their environment. And that's really the goal. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.